Iditarod, the last great race. A race like no other. A trek that spans more than 1,000 miles of Alaska's most rugged terrain. Mushers and their dogs teaming together against climate and condition. Strength, strategy, and stamina determine who will succeed. Welcome to this special HD coverage of the ceremonial start from downtown Anchorage on KTVA CBS 11, the official station of Iditarod 42.
And welcome to 4th Avenue on an absolutely gorgeous morning in downtown Anchorage, Alaska. It is the ceremonial start of the 42nd running of the Iditarod sled dog race. And we are certainly glad you're here, and it's great to see everyone again. Greg Heister, Dave Goldman from KTVA, and our Iditarod insider analyst. One of them, Bruce Lee, will be joined by Joe Runyon a little bit later. Some quick thoughts, guys, as we take a look at the Iditarod snapshot now at the numbers and how these mushers break down. 69 teams in this race, 13 international, 16 rookies, 49 from Alaska. And Bruce, a quick thought, we have 5 Norwegians in this field, and they're interesting, aren't they?
Yeah, we have Robert Sorley returning, who's won the race twice. Other well-known Norwegian mushers that the Alaskan mushers respect, and everybody's talking about what will they bring to this race strategy-wise, because they are serious competitors. And
the energy is starting to build now as we hear the announcer in the background. Teams starting to encroach now on the start line. These are the top 10 finishers in the field. And everyone here a champion other than Didi Johnroe, but Boozer, King, Baker, Seavey, and Didi will be in the mix when we talk about possible champions. As we take a look now at what the mushers are going to encounter as they work across the state of Alaska. Of course, the ceremonial start is in Anchorage. They'll run 13 miles. Tomorrow is the official start out of Willow, and they'll go over the Alaska Range through the interior, and then they hit the Bering Sea coast there at Unalakleet before finishing at Nome. And Bruce, you see a lot of green on this map. They're going to see a lot of green and brown out there, aren't they?
They are, and this is going to be, this first couple days, though normally it's a settle-in period, is really going to determine a lot of the outcome of this race, because mushers are going to get dinged up because of the icy trail conditions. Gear's going to get broke, which needs to be fixed. They're going to go up to Finger Lake, which, there's talk of moving the race to Fairbanks, but they've got the trail in, and the mushers, or the teams, have worked on it hard. And as they go up to Rainy Pass and drop in the Dalzell Gorge over to Roan, that's going to be a real shakeout period. Who gets through this section of trails that we're seeing clips of right now is going to determine who has the biggest number of dogs left, the gear that isn't busted up, and the mushers aren't busted up.
And there's the Dalzell Gorge, the famous gorge right before Roan. And it's going to be a lot different in there this year, too, as we take a look at Roan. Remember what Martin Boozer did there a year ago when he went all the way to Roan before he stopped to take his 24-hour rest. And as a media guy, we love shakeups like that because it just gives us so much to talk about that's different. Welcome back to 4th Avenue in downtown Anchorage. We're moments away now from the start of the 42nd Iditarod. It is the ceremonial start. You know, this event started back in 1973, but the dream began over 20 years prior to that. A guy named Joe Reddington Sr., the father of the Iditarod, kind of blossomed that dream and got it going in 1973. Time now to take a little look back at it. Alaska, where dreams blow in like a storm and linger like a long Arctic winter. It's a place that provides a perfect canvas for creative, life-altering pursuits. It's a place of rich history and humor that collides with the adventurous and audacious.
I looked at the race through the eyes of P.T. Barnum. He would have loved it. It's a circus. It's a big circus. It's a circus that has all the elements. It has animals, all kinds of animals. Remember, we had moose on the trail. We've had polar bears on the trail. We've had everything, every animal out there. And also we've got characters, great characters. If you're not a character when you're running the race, you'll be a character after you do run it.
It was the perfect place for Joe Reddington Sr.
Old man Reddington had a dream. It had been done with dogs back in the early 1900s out of Nome, where they ran 300-400 miles, and he wanted to kind of keep that tradition going. And I don't know if it was individually important or just one man's dream and people wanted to see it happen, you know.
Reddington was a dreamer with a purpose. He championed the plight of the disappearing sled dog and would take the unreachable and create a world stage for a little-known sport. He would be the ringleader. He teamed up man and dog, pitting them against Mother Nature over thousands of miles and well over 4 decades. He would battle a war waged by animal rights groups. Funny, considering the race was started to save the dogs themselves, and would eventually do just that. He created a love and a life for sled dogs that reaches far beyond Alaska's borders today. He provided the platform where men tested their muster.
Yeah, Eskimos coming in off of the sea ice, hunting the open leads for seals. Athapaskans from north of the Arctic Circle coming down out of the foothills of the Brooks Range and the tributaries along the Yukon, the Kobuk, off their marten trap lines, and remote homesteaders, white adventurers. I mean, these guys were tough to kill, and a lucky thing.
And while men proved mentally and physically unbreakable, it became a chance for women to show the world who was tough as well. Women would one day rule this race.
It was survival, total survival mode, you know, and it was real interesting, you know, to see what happens with your head, you know, and how you deal with it.
And Reddington helped create a sport with great rivalries that started decades ago, but still drive the race forward.
One separation, the 5th championship, you know.
The Iditarod is the legacy of one man, but continues to be a dream for so many others.
Joe Reddington was not a big man, and he was very soft-spoken. He was as tough as whalebone.
I never seen anybody love dogs like my dad.
It's the intrigue of the whole lifestyle, but it takes your entire life. I mean, you give up other careers, you give up where you live, but I say give up. In reality, what you're gaining is worth way more than that. Setting out on the Yukon River, eating salmon strips, and 16 dogs in front of you is a pretty nice life. So,
2, 1, go! Nothing better.
First team out.
That's Kurt Pirano. And I guess, Bruce, in years past, drawing a high number, there would be an advantage because of the way the trail always seemed to deteriorate to Finger Lake. And now, Dallas Seavey. Dun, dun, dun.
Who?
Right? Dallas Seavey. And his kennel is getting better. And his dogs are now in a position, I think, where genetically he's got the best team he's ever had.
Definitely, it's the first time he's had all dogs that he's raised pretty much in his kennel. It's well known that Dallas is one of the most athletic, charged up mushers on the trail, and he's very good at handling any type of condition. He doesn't get rattled by it.
You know, the CV dynasty is something that's kind of a creation all its own. You know, I think why we're all good at what we do is we don't worry about that stuff. We worry about, you know, for me, it's me fielding the best possible team. My brother, he worries about fielding the best team he can. My dad, the best team he does. So it's because we're all focused on what we're doing and not getting distracted by a lot of other things. That's why we're all successful in this. We're all
You know, he said to me on Thursday, he said, you know what, that's fine. If the conditions want to get squirrely, no problem. In fact, I like it that way, he says, because that's going to knock some more people out of it. He says that's one of the things that he said that the Seavies can do is deal with whatever comes.
You're not only looking at a great dog team, but you're probably looking at one of the best athletes that'll be on this trail over the next 9 days. And so
26 years old, he's right in the prime.
He'll be able to run around a lot of those issues out there, and if he gets knocked off the sled, he's going to be a monster in this event for a long time to come.
And I might point out something here that people might not notice. Look how much slower he's moving than a lot of the other teams that went out of here. That's going to be critical this year. People that can control the speed of their dogs. I mean, he's already got these guys where they're just not doing a sprint race out of here.